Jason, here we are on the west side, the main focal point of the hospital with the emergency entrance here on the west side. Tell us a little bit about, what the design intent was to really provide a welcoming side of the building.
I think if there was one facade that we wanted to focus a lot of design effort in is our emergency department entry. This is just across the street from our entrance in from 56th Street where patients are coming in. We talked a little bit about the monument signage that makes sure they understand they've arrived at Mayo Clinic. And a quick right will bring them up to our emergency ambulatory drop-off. There's a lot of architecture, volumes, and projections and shapes happening here. Big, tall glass, as you can see, forming kind of a beacon for where these patients need to arrive to get their care.
We talked about bringing in our digital components group, and we really worked through some other site challenges to improve logistics, safety, quality, all those things. How do you feel like the experience went for you as we worked through both the design and the execution of the digital building components panels and trying to bring that design vision to life?
We were battling internally for budget dollars to, where do we want to spend our money on the building? And we all have proponent teams working in the various clusters, and they're all important parts of the building, right? I mean, there's no wrong in any of the groups trying to vie for that, a finite dollar amount. But I think the budget that we had, the team that we had, DPR, HKS, all the groups together, really figured out how to take that slice of the budget pie for exterior and make something wonderful out of it. We had a lot of criterias that us as very picky owners wanted to hit on, right? We wanted to make sure we had the window pockets that were reminiscent of our existing tower. But in asking for that, it really brought on some big challenges for how DBC was able to figure out how to put that all together. I think we looked at several iterations of how do you do framing, how do you do the phone, how do you apply the skin, how's a window going to get set in there. So that was a really huge team effort. And by doing that, you guys got this building up. I mean, it was like record speed. You blinked and suddenly poof, a building. So that's pretty amazing to watch.
One thing that came to mind is some of the digital building components processes. We did the same or similar process, seeing it all virtually and drawn 3D, and then got to take some tours down to the factory as well. What were some of the thoughts you had on basically seeing that from the computer screen to, all these panels were laying horizontally in the shop as we were making them?
Yeah, that's pretty incredible. I mean, the shop that you all have, seeing kind of the stations laid out, so really you're producing these panels as a factory would. So you have a lot of quality control that you can implement in a factory versus doing it on site. I think that was one of the areas that VDC can offer, and to be able to erect these panels quicker without scaffolding, with the safety and all that stuff. We did that giant mock-up in that back area at VDC shop too. So that was, mock-ups are another thing, is to be able to see them, get constructed and be able to look at details that we want to pay attention to as we get into the actual building.
We're over at the south end of the building. This is actually where we started installing panels back in July of 21. A couple of challenges here on the south end. Got a helipad. We're swinging a tower crane over this way, so this really was where everything started. Kyle, for your side, the design I know was big. Starting here, we had Mayo and everybody out here in the beginning to see these first panels set. Any challenges on your end or expectations?
One of the great things about the DBC process is our stair towers and our elevator shafts. We were able to come up with different attachment details to the structure that would work in various conditions. And again, like you mentioned with the helipad right here, if you could imagine having scaffold here and rasping styrofoam, it's a major concern with patient safety with those flights coming in. So by being able to set these in a day or two, huge logistical win for the project and for Mayo with patient safety right here. And really this worked this way on all the stair towers, and we've got a nice design element with the vertical slot windows as well that brings light into the stairs. So being able to incorporate all those into the design, digital building components really did a nice job just helping us work out the details on these.
You guys modeled every single panel, so I mean most of the kinks were worked out in the beginning, so when we actually installed in the field there was little error to work through.